It's time for another update from Microsoft Flight Simulator. This time it's towards the Sim Update 3 that has several fixes. But before we begin, welcome to the channel, and if this is your first time, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for future releases on absolutely anything that's related to flight simming, development updates, patch notes and many more. Sim Update 3 has been released this morning that addresses many issues overall. It's a straightforward download which is a 4.62 GB patch. On the highest level, patch 1.14.5.0 has new content, performance, improvements, navigation updates, autopilot fixes, displays, engines, cockpit areas, control surface, lighting, checklist areas, common areas, virtual reality, ATC, weather, world map and many more areas. The development areas too have seen many updates in this patch, which include SDK areas, scenery editors and WebAssembly. Quite a number of fixes in this patch, I would say. New content have spread across like areas which include liveries which were used at FSX which are now available on selected planes from the Kenmore to the Pacifica. Contrails have been added in this update that certainly makes a difference. The menu has new customization features in the world map. Performance and stabilities have seen changes in this update which are touched at areas where the simulator would crash depending on the use of manual cache tool. Autopilot issues was one of the primary parts of this update which is now addressed across the board for several models. We can see several issues that have been resolved based on the FLC model on the Cessna Citation Longitude. Autopilot that was disabled as it was incorrectly set on the JMB VL3. The use of VSVL to control the pitch on few models, data communicating under autopilot which should now be seamless, the VOR and ADF feature, general aviation planes used to display FMS instead of GPS. The G3000 series have seen several fixes under flight phase and nav source. The TRK or FPA features have been added to the Airbus A320neo. The LNAV as well as VNAV no longer engages automatically under the 747 Intercontinental. Displays have seen various improvements over several areas such as the 787 Dreamliner now shows an improved HUD projection, speed trend arrow is now more responsive, Garmin instruments had issues with bearings outside the 0 to 360 range, there were bugs under GNS 430 and GNS 530 that's been fixed now, Flight Director role wasn't working when autopilot wasn't activated, Wind display is added on G3X Touch, brightness adjustments and many other areas have been addressed. Coming to engines, several models have seen vast improvements in different structures. The Beechcraft Baron G58 had an auto mixture issue, along with that auto start issues with the 747 where the batteries would activate later than expected. Both these issues have been fixed. The starter X set keys have been now enabled. There was an issue where it would cause the starter to affect the RPM of the plane excessively. This has also been resolved. Engine shutdown issues during unlimited fuel mode. There have been adjustments towards the engine at the Beechcraft Baron G58. Along with it, the Beechcraft Bonanza G36 engine idle issues have been resolved. Quite a few issues under the engine. Now looking at the cockpit areas, they've seen vast improvements as well as a number of XML errors have been corrected. The behavior of knobs, avionics switch, ATC panel, options to push the backup Baron knob of the 747s, co-pilot areas of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner is more interactive. Clock buttons on the Dreamliner works. Instrument fixes have been geared towards the JMB VL3. Tactile screens where the mouse wouldn't work effectively is now resolved. Control surface areas have seen many corrections on the 787-10, Beechcraft's rudder trim and the Airbus A320 auto brakes. Under lighting, the 787-10 has seen corrections where some emissive elements would still be active. The same manner, the Boeing 747-8 as well as the A320 have seen fixes here. Checklist also has numerous amount of improvements. The brake release, checkpoints, mixture lean for altitude, mixture rich below 3000 feet, Cessna 172 checklist, 747s, Beechcrafts overall have seen fixes. Other common items include external HUD display, fuel system setups, the HUD display not updating accurate frame rates and many more areas. The VR section have seen several fixes at the same time. Players can now access to the controls menu directly from the VR mode page. The HOTAs are now specified in the VR bindings, specifically under the VR mode page. VR is now functional when HDR is enabled. The panel reset feature is now functional in VR. They've also focused on displays right to the flap control in the Cessnas that can interact with the mouse. All these areas have seen several fixes. It's quite interesting to know that the VR has seen good amount of improvements in this patch. The ADC is another area where the fixes are in place, as well as the weather. The wind panel user interface has been updated for wind and gust settings. The world map, other common areas, SDK updates where the airport services have samples now, along with the reworking of the sample aircraft are included. Likewise, the scenery editor, WebAssembly and SimConnect have seen fixes in this update. So make sure you go ahead and update this right away to experience much more seamless experiences in the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Hope you like this video, guys. Do hit that subscribe button for future updates on anything that's related to flight simming, development updates. This is the place. Do hit the thumbs up button if you like this video, as it always matters to us. Stay tuned and take care, guys.